Welcome to Wealthfinity, where we explore the world of finance and economics. In this video, we will dive into the idea behind the recession of 1920. The year 1920 was a period of economic downturn in the United States, marked by high unemployment, decreased production, and a decline in prices. This recession has often been overshadowed by the Great Depression that followed in the 1930s, but it still holds significant relevance today. Understanding the causes and consequences of this recession can provide valuable insights into how the economy functions and how we can prepare for similar events in the future. So, let's explore the factors that led to the recession of 1920 and the lessons we can learn from it. The recession of 1920, also known as the Forgotten Depression, was a significant economic downturn in the United States that lasted for about a year. It was characterized by a sharp decline in production, employment, and prices. Despite its severity, the recession of 1920 is often overlooked in economic history, overshadowed by the Great Depression of the 1930s. However, the causes and effects of the 1920 recession provide important lessons for understanding economic cycles and policy responses. This recession was caused by a combination of factors, including a decline in consumer spending, a decrease in investment, and a contraction of credit. In this guide, we will provide you with a comprehensive overview of how to survive the recession of 1920, including tips on how to manage your finances, find employment, and cope with the economic uncertainty. Manage your finances. During times of economic uncertainty, it is crucial to manage your finances carefully. The first step is to create a budget and stick to it. Identify your essential expenses, such as food, housing, and utilities, and cut back on discretionary spending, such as dining out and entertainment. It is also essential to pay off any debts as quickly as possible to reduce your financial obligations. Another way to manage your finances during a recession is to look for ways to save money. Consider buying second-hand items, purchasing generic brands, and using coupons to reduce your expenses. You can also save money on utilities by turning off lights and appliances when not in use and lowering the thermostat. Look for employment opportunities. Finding employment during a recession can be challenging, but there are still opportunities available. Look for industries that are still hiring, such as healthcare, education, and government. You can also consider part-time or temporary work to help make ends meet. In addition to traditional job search methods, it is also essential to network and build connections. Reach out to family, friends, and acquaintances to see if they know of any job openings. Attend industry conferences and events to meet new people and learn about potential job opportunities. Be prepared for economic uncertainty. During a recession, it is essential to be prepared for economic uncertainty. Build up an emergency fund that can cover several months of expenses. This will provide a financial cushion if you lose your job or face unexpected expenses. It is also essential to have a plan for how to cope with the economic uncertainty. Consider developing a side hustle or starting a business to supplement your income. You can also consider taking on freelance work or consulting to generate additional income. Stay positive and focused. Finally, it is essential to stay positive and focused during the recession. It can be easy to feel overwhelmed and discouraged, but maintaining a positive attitude can help you stay motivated and focused on your goals. Set achievable goals and celebrate your successes along the way. Remember that the recession will eventually come to an end, and there will be new opportunities on the horizon. Causes of the recession of 1920. The causes of the recession of 1920 were primarily structural and market-driven. The United States had just emerged from World War I and was experiencing an economic boom, fueled by increased government spending and rising demand for consumer goods. However, this expansion was unsustainable, as it was driven by artificially low interest rates and an excess supply of credit. When the Federal Reserve Bank raised interest rates to combat inflation, it caused a contraction in credit and investment. This led to a severe downturn in the economy, as businesses and consumers faced a shortage of capital and reduced spending. Another major cause of the recession of 1920 was a decline in international trade. After World War I, many European countries were devastated and had limited purchasing power. This resulted in a decrease in demand for American goods, leading to a decrease in exports and a decline in economic growth. Additionally, technological advancements led to increased efficiency and productivity, which reduced the need for labor and led to layoffs. Effects of the recession of 1920. The recession of 1920 had a significant impact on the U.S. economy and society. One of the most notable effects was a sharp decline in employment. The unemployment rate increased from 2% in 1919 to 11.7% in 1921. This led to significant social and economic hardship for many Americans, as they struggled to make ends meet and provide for their families. However, the recession of 1920 also had some positive effects. The economic contraction was short-lived, lasting only about a year. This was due in part to the fact that the government did not intervene in the economy, instead allowing market forces to correct themselves. The result was a rapid recovery and return to growth. By 1923, the U.S. economy had fully recovered, with a growth rate of over 5% per year. Lessons from the recession of 1920. Allow the economy to self-correct. The government's response to the recession of 1920 was to do very little. Instead, they allowed the market to self-correct, which it did. Prices fell, and businesses went bankrupt, but this allowed the economy to stabilize and eventually recover. This approach contrasts with the government's response to the more recent Great Recession of 2008, where governments intervened heavily in the economy. While the government's response did stabilize the economy, it also led to a slower recovery and long-term economic consequences, such as increased national debt. Keep government spending in check. The end of government wartime spending contributed to the recession of 1920. As the government shifted from a wartime to a peacetime economy, the government's response was to reduce its spending, which helped to stabilize the economy. In contrast, during the Great Recession, the government increased its spending in an attempt to stimulate the economy. This led to increased national debt and, in some cases, inefficient use of government resources. In conclusion, the recession of 1920 was a significant event in American history that is often overlooked. It was a short but sharp economic downturn that was brought about by a number of factors, including a post-World War I economic boom and subsequent bust, a reduction in government spending, and a tightening of credit by the Federal Reserve.